Hi guys. Today I think I'll just start by doing a few missions. Essentially, we have some missions that Zatanna is going to give us in the Chinatown safe house. But first, we got mail, so let's go see what the mailbox has in store for us. At some point in time, I will probably do a proper troll to controller tutorial. Uh, Essentially, I think I'll wait until I have a couple more troll powers. So see, we sold the miniaturized Cynthium pulse hammers. We finally sold them for $10,000. So we're that much richer. Lucky us. Essentially, that's why I wanted to sell the to keep the hammer and sell it on the auction house. Uh, Even if you just sell the item $1,000, you will have made 10 times or more what the broker the vendor would have given you. So on the broker, whatever it is, just sell it on the broker. You'll make so much more money that way. If you're lucky, you'll sell it for $50 million. But even if you sell it just for $1,000, it's a huge increase compared to what you'll get in the vendor. I know it's a bit scary to use the broker. I was there before. I didn't want to use it at first too. I was selling everything to the vendors, but you get the hang of it. It's not that difficult to use a broker. At some point, I'll probably do just an episode focusing on the broker to properly show you how to use it. But don't be afraid to try it out and experiment with it. And also, the more you use it, the more you will figure out, okay, this item I can sell it for $10,000. This item I can sell it for $50,000. There's no real technique. It's just a matter of trial and error and learning how much you can get for certain items. And also, as you use the broker more, you will learn which items are more rare and can get more money. You can get more money from, and which items you can even at $100 you won't be able to get rid of them. So let's talk to our friend Zatanna
Amazon
and see what
forces,
she wants.
including Wonder Girl herself, have responded, but more help is needed. Get down there and stop Circe.
So far I pretty much played as a DPS. So I'm not. I could keep on playing as a DPS with my beautiful brown costume, but I think I'll stick with the yellow one, and I'll play it as a troll for a bit. You might see the difference. Like as a DPS, things would die fairly quickly. Although at this level, enemies aren't that tough, so they should die pretty quick also, even as a troll as a controller. Oh, and we have essentially outside of the police stations, there's these wanted posters. So let's take this one. So essentially, these posters are to hunt down uh, player characters. So as you can see, defeat new villains. We have to defeat five of them. This is player characters, not NPCs. So we have to essentially try to find players and beat the crap out of them. And also, you'll notice there's a little skull thingy besides where my name and my health and my power bar is. That means that I'm in the PvP open world. So in the PvP open world, other players will try to beat the crap out of me, and I'll return the favor. So we'll follow our quest tracker to where the mission is. Oh, we do have a little mission here. Let's see what he
Foul
wants.
soulless walk among us, their souls
Oh
crying
yeah,
out
why
for
not?
freedom. Use the soul wells to summon the soul globes.
So as you see, I have the little lightning bolt underneath my name and health and power bar. The first thing you do as a troll, ideally, is that you start what is known as your power over time. Essentially, it's a power that gives you back power as time goes by. So every 5 seconds, you will have what is called a tick. So every 5 seconds, you'll get a tick of power. So in this case, it'll be 97 or 110. Well, let's wait for the next tick. It's one tick every 5 seconds. Usual. Oh, and but of course, once your power bar is full, you don't see the ticks anymore. So sometimes you have to play it by ear. Once you don't see how much you don't see the ticks anymore. At some point, you learn to more or less count in your head, or I don't know if you've noticed. I do have a few extra combos, like this one. At some point, will probably stop and I'll try to show what the combos are. I'll probably wait until I have all of them so I can do them all at once as opposed to doing just a few now and a few later. Oh. The missions over here are usually the missions you do when you start with a magic character, essentially a Wonder Woman mentored character. But then other characters will have access to them, but later on in the game. Like as you saw, I started with the Scarecrow missions, then the Bane missions, and only now do I have these missions. And of course, there's our range attacks that we can use. And I can hear something, I just don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. The exobits and the various collections make some sort of noise. You can't hear it right now, sadly, but once you play the game, you'll hear them fine, and you'll see what I mean. It does help in figuring out where they are, especially when sometimes they hide them behind the crates, or when they hide them behind a billboard or something. And even with the noise they make, sometimes you'll have a hard time finding some of them.
Yes, I've got the research data and metrics. I'm on my way to drop.
And ideally, to hear them properly, I'd suggest playing with headphones. It's a much more pleasant experience, and it makes it a little bit easier to find them. Especially when it comes to collections or investigations, some of them are really hard to find, and you want to put every chances on your side to find them. So wearing headset would be a good idea. And also, it does immerse you in the game a bit more. So unless you have a big sound system and you can put the sound as loudly as you want, a headset would be a good idea. But it can be warm. Like right now, we have a little bit of a heat wave over here, so it having the headset on, it is a bit warm. I'll admit that. Okay, so we're going to go back into our journal. Again, you saw, I'm not sure why the quest tracker didn't come back to the mission. It's not a big deal. You just have to get into the habit of always going back to your journal to make sure that the quest is selected. But sometimes also it will unselect itself for no reason. Like in this case, the reason why it was because we took another quest, and once we finished the other quest, the first one didn't get selected again. But sometimes the quest is selected. You're just, I don't know, killing enemies or something, and then you realize that, oh, my quest is gone. It happens.
My greetings. Circe's bestiamorphs are running rampant in the Tomorrow district. Wonder Girl went in to investigate, but I have not heard from her since. Clearly, Circe is up to foul play. I charge you, track down Wonder Girl and defeat Circe's plans.
You will bow before Circe.
Wonder Girl is in terrible danger!
All Amazons will serve Circe.
I thought Wonder Girl was taking the front line.
Also, another thing, usually if you don't do anything, the game will pretty much auto-select the target you want to attack. But let's say you want to decide which character you're going to attack. Essentially, you can hold the L1 button, and you see there's a little red circle on the lion. Essentially, that's the lion I've got selected. Now I've selected the other one, so all my attacks will attack the lion I've selected. And let's say there are multiple targets. Now I've selected the lion, and if I use the D-pad to the right, I can switch target. I don't know if you can properly see that. So I can switch from the lion to the boar, back to the lion, just holding the L1 button. So holding the L1 button will lock the target, and then the D-pad to the right will switch target. There's often complaint from people that the game often doesn't target the enemy they want to target. So after a while, you get the hang of always holding the L1 button and locking on your target. See, now I'm locked on the boar, and the only character I'm going to attack right now is the boar. Unless, of course, if there's an attack that damages multiple opponent, then I'll damage pretty much everyone close to the boar or around the boar. But I'm going to stay locked on the boar. Like, I'll do the same with the lion. So I'm locking on the lion, and now let's attack him. And by being locked on it, I'm sure that my attack will not attack something else by mistake. Also, I should mention I'm playing on PS4. So the experience will probably be much different on PS3 than what you see in my videos, and even on PC it's a bit different. Although even on PC I play with a controller. I see a lot of complaints by people that controller versus keyboards is more difficult. I'm so used to playing with the controller that when I play with a keyboard now, I'm a bit lost. So I'm so used to the controller now that I much prefer it. And people keep on saying that there's players with controllers are no match for players with keyboards. I've I've done plenty of PvP on PC with my controller, and I did fine. And you even versus players playing with keyboards, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. So I still need to free four of them.
Will serve Circe.
Of course, there's always my powerful knee attack. So as you saw, essentially, see, I'm locking on the character, and now I'm going to attack it straight. Essentially, to make sure that I'm going to attack the character I want to attack, as opposed to letting the computer decide. And sometimes the computer will choose a different target than what you would use, than what you would choose. So if there's multiple targets and you want to make sure to attack the correct target, I would lock on to the target, just to be safe. That way, you're certain that you're going to attack the right target.
Has anyone seen Wonder Girl?
But there are cases where it doesn't really matter a little if you want to defeat all three opponents that are facing you and either one doesn't matter, then don't really need to lock on. You just attack it. See, it still works fine even without locking on. But there are cases where when you want really to attack a specific target for some reason, locking on to it is the safest option.
Will serve Circe.
What do these fiends want?
And you saw the combo I just did ends on an attack that does pretty much an area of effect. So essentially it will damage anything that's around my character when he finishes his combo.
You will bow before Circe.
I don't know if you're noticing, I'm using this track a bit to protect myself from some damage. It does work out fairly well. Either that or the heal over time from the battle display. Both will help keep my character alive.
Giganta has Wonder Girl.
Has anyone seen Wonder Girl?
See, my area of effect was wide enough that it killed this guy over here.
Giganta has Wonder Girl.
Just one more, and we'll be in business.
Giganta will steal Wonder Girl's body.
And here we go. So we're going to complete the mission by going to our journal.
She's always wanted the power of an Amazon princess. Circe must have
And now we
promised
should
her
have another
exactly
mission.
that.
And
We
it's
have to get to
already
Wonder Girl quickly.
selected. So the mission we just did gave us a call.
Giganta has taken Wonder
So
Girl.
let's put that
Seek out
on.
Lieutenant Pythia.
I got some brawling
She'll give us
weapons, but
something to loosen
sadly
the tongues.
I can't use them. And this is the collection we gathered earlier. Okay, so let's keep. See, as you see with the grappling hook, you can climb tall buildings pretty quick. It's a pretty neat ability, and it's very useful when you try to escape from enemy players. Especially when they're like 3 times your level and they try to beat the crap out of you. It's usually a neat way to be able to get away from them.
Oh, good. You were here. Take this torch of remembrance. Wonder Woman wants its power in your hand.
That Promethean flame will draw the information out of those
So we
beastie
took her
morphs.
missions, and she's
No
going
matter
to give
how
us
the
missions
poor beasts
also.
try to
Amazon
protect
Mala
their
will give us
mistress.
missions. You'll notice that some missions only give us experience and sometimes some rewards, and other missions will give us mark of victory. Not sure why. Sometimes not sure why all missions don't give us markers of victory. Probably because the devs don't want us to start with 1,000 marks of victory once we reach level 30. But it's okay. At this point, it doesn't really matter. And besides, there's like a limit of 100 that we can carry, so it doesn't really matter.
I tell you nothing.
It is not uncommon for them to engrave symbols of their conquests onto tusks and fangs.
Let's get over here. So as you saw, the Treasure Pool is fairly useful to pull enemy NPCs towards you. Sadly, it's an ability that some players have in Legends PvP, but somehow it never really works. Like maybe I'm doing something wrong, but whenever I use the Taser Pool and in Legends PvP, it never works. At best, I'll do a bit of damage thanks to the electric damage from the power, but I can never pull a character towards me. I don't know if you've noticed, like my character fell down, but I used the distract to get back up. It seems to be useful for that. I'll admit I'd never really noticed it before.
I know speak.
And also there's the Almighty Block. It's something I didn't really mention yet. But in doubt, don't be afraid to block. Sometimes block will make the difference between you dying or you surviving just enough to take down your opponent. Of course, it's more useful when you're facing multiple opponents, or even better when you're facing opponents that are way higher level than you. But of course, if you're much higher level than them, then it's not that useful.
You must help Wonder Girl escape Giganta!
The ritual has
Wonder
begun.
Girl is in terrible danger!
Enough. They took Amazon Girl to the Metro. Circe promised Wonder Girl to Giganta.
You've got to stop them.
So let's switch back to DPS to see if it'll be a bit easier or not.
Run! Run!
Technically, with my DPS, I should do between 35 and 40% more damage at this point. So let's see if it makes a difference in enemies dying faster. Oh, and we earned a new level, a new power point. So essentially, I will get the 5 Marauders I have left, and then I will assign my new point.
Giganta has Wonder Girl. I must report back.
Run! Get away!
Do something.
Run for your life!
One more. See, also, if I lock on the target, I can make sure that I'm pulling the correct target. In that case, it wasn't that big a deal. Like here, it's not a big deal because he's pretty much the only target. But if there was multiple target and I wanted to pull a very specific one, I would be able to, thanks to locking on my target.
Creating a ritual to swap Giganta's mind into
So
Wonder
let's go.
Girl's
Oh,
body.
and I finished also the
Really
quest,
big.
so I'll complete it.
No pun intended.
Another feat for finishing 50 missions. And this is our next mission that I'm going to select. Now let's go see. Okay, I've earned the PowerPoint.
We must stop the ritual Circe and Giganta have planned for Wonder Girl.
Just trying to make up my mind. Okay. So essentially, I will take a power that is known as a supercharge. Essentially, it's a power that you can only activate once in a while. In order to be able to use the supercharge, if you look underneath the name, you have the health, you have the power, the blue bar for the power, and underneath you have that orange bar. That's the supercharge. Most of the supercharge powers will use a fraction of that bar. Like in the case of the one I've selected, come on. In the case of the one I've selected, it's using about 35% of the supercharge. So I can use it more or less 3 times, two and a half times. There's other supercharge that will cost like 50% supercharge. So essentially this one we can do it twice with a full bar. And the other ones, another 50% and another 35%. So, and the supercharge is already where I want it to be. Essentially, that supercharge, what it does is that it will heal our character. Essentially, I've selected there's multiple ones. In the case of the gadget characters, there's one that's known as the Bunker Busters. Essentially, it calls down a barrage of rockets that causes damage. There's the Battle Drone. Essentially, it summons a drone that will help you in battle, and also that will give power back to the group. There's one that's called the asphyxiation gas. Essentially, it's a canister of gas that will make like a cloud of gas that will damage all the enemy NPCs or players. And the one I selected is an aesthetic. Essentially, it helps heal and regenerate my character, and also it protects against a control effect for a short bit. So that's one of the ways I'm going to fake the healing power of Wolverine is with the supercharge. That and with the battle display. So now we can go. Let's continue our mission. Usually before you start your mission, if you just take a minute or two to look around, you'll find there's pretty much always someone nearby, a character nearby that will want to give you a mission. So just look for that character, because usually the mission that she has will not really be linked to the mission we're doing, but some of the objectives will be similar or in the same area. Here we have the Minotaur, which is one of the early bounty in the game. You can see that the character is combat rating 46, so yeah, there's no way I'm gonna attack him. It used to be that we could do the bounty at an earlier level, But now they've made them that we have to be at least 30 combat rating 30 or more
This fang could
if
aid the
before
sentinels
we
of
even have a
magics
chance to
restorative
defeat those bounties.
incantations.
Okay, so let's get this party started.
Why will it fail you?
I don't know if you saw, like my character was lying on the flat on the back on his back, and this track was useful to help him get back on his feet right away. So I must admit that I didn't really know it was doing that until today. So it's kind of neat. Let's try. So I've used my supercharge, so essentially my character is healing a bit. It's not like a huge heal, and it doesn't heal like a billion damages, but it does help in a pinch. When you really need to, it can be helpful. So essentially in this mission we have to destroy those crystals, and we have a bunch of bestiomorph to defeat. And this one was trying to get away. Come over here, as our friend Scorpion would say.
Calculation completed.
The spell is weakened. To the attack!
Okay, so right now I only need shards from the stones, so we'll just finish this little guy over here. So let's get that. Sometimes you'll get multiple shards from one stone, sometimes you'll get only one. I suppose it's the random number generator doing its thing.
Scanning.
Technically I'm done with the missions, but my friends don't want to let me go. They like me so much. So let's finish them off. Okay. So we got a new pair of gloves. In the open world, if you have the stealth ability, don't hesitate to use it if you want to go into your journal or something, because it's way too easy to be caught off guard. Like while you're looking at your rewards, to have someone jump over you. So essentially, so at least with the stealth ability, I don't think it's 100% safe, but it helps a lot. Like usually, unless they're really looking for me, I'll be able to avoid most players. Not sure why the stone. We should be done. Like if you see the red, the yellow circles above the stones, usually that's to tell you that it's part of a quest and you're not quite done with the quest yet. But we're done. But somehow the
The mirror
yellow
of
circles
Narcissus
are still
allows
there.
us to discover Circe's plans
So here
before
we
paying
have
attention.
another
We
mission:
lost
recover the
her
mirror of
last
Narcissus, which will be in this building, which is also where we have to go to finish the mission with Giganta. For those who don't know, Giganta is a Wonder Woman villain. If you ever watched the TV series Justice League by Bruce
Giganta
Timm,
once wanted to
you've
possess
seen
my own
Giganta
body.
before. She
Now
appeared
Circe
in
must have
a couple of
promised her
times
Wonder
in
Girls.
those episodes.
Knowing Giganta, her greed and impatience will lead her to rush the ritual. Go carefully. A mistake could condemn them both.
So in here we have to help the
We
Amazons.
must rescue Wonder Girl from
Circe's beasts are at my command. Challenge me and die, mortal.
So let's attack Tetitus. No idea how to pronounce that actually.
I must request aid for our fallen sisters.
Calculation.
I fight with you against gigantic.
This claw did not come from a quadrupedal wolf.
Remain brave! The Amazons stand with you!
So one of the side quests we got was to save 4 police officers, and they're over here.
Scanning.
There's some more over here. I don't know if you've noticed sometimes with our powerful knee attack, it will propulse the enemy in the air. Which is kind of cool. So while he's floating in the air for 1 or 2 seconds, he's not attacking you. So it's a nice offensive move that pretty much is a defensive one also. And here we go, we're done. Again, I'm not sure why this quest did complete itself without us going to the journal and completing it, but it's no biggie. So you just have to get into the habit of going back into your journal fairly regularly to select the quest you actually want to do. It's nothing game breaker, but it just that it can be annoying a bit, especially for no player. Like when you don't really know the quests, sometimes it's hard for you guys to know which quest is which. I know that some of my friends, when they started, they had a hard time with that. Like they were often lost and they didn't know where to go and they didn't know what quest to do, and they didn't understand why the quest tracker wouldn't tell them where to go until they realized that the quest is no longer selected. After a while you get used to it and it doesn't really matter, but when you just start it can be a bit annoying.
They took her deeper into the station. We must stay on their trail.
Oh, and we have a little chest here.
Hopefully each
You can see
artifact
usually
will aid
the
in
glow,
reversing Cersei's
the
hex.
chests are glowing enough that you can see them, even when they're hidden in a corner. But sometimes you don't. And we got, oh yeah, we got a pair of boots earlier. We got a mask, a brand new mask, which will be an improvement compared to the mask we used to have. And a pair of shoulders. Now the shoulders aren't as good as the ones we have, but it was good for a style. We didn't have the new Genesis style, so now we do. Got another feat. Before I forget, as you can see, some of the equipment that I changed for a better equipment, they have this little helmet in the upper left corner. Essentially, that means that they're part of one of my armories. So if I was to, let's say, use my armory, even the DPS one, it would put back the items that I took off. So essentially, I usually keep them aside like this to remind myself that okay, these are, even though they're no longer useful, they're still attached to an armory. So the next time I go to my base, I'm gonna have to my lair. I'm going to have to make changes to that to my armories. Essentially, I'm going to have to re-imprint my armories so that I can replace these items because as long as that little helmet symbol is in the corner, I cannot sell those items, I cannot salvage those items. All I can do is destroy them. And I don't really want to do that. I want to sell them at least for a little bit of money. So, and as you saw, we got a new ring with a red socket. If I had some foresight, I would have bought a couple of beta alpha mods so that I could craft some exo bits right now. We'll do that later, I guess. So let's finish this mission.
You're too late. I have already begun the ritual with a few minor improvements. Now I will transfer my powerful mind into Wonder Girl's body, and the strength of the gods will be mine!
And now we're going to face the almighty Giganta. Or are we?
It's working! It's working! I feel her power course. Your body is mine!
So we're going to face Giganta, but in Wonder Girl's body. For some reason, she wants to steal our body. I'm not sure why. It might be because, believe it or not, Giganta was made from what used to be an ape. Yeah, comics are weird and all kinds of awesome like that. It's one of the things that I like about this universe online is that
Not anymore, it doesn't.
it's pretty much it's pretty much the last time that we're going to see the classic DC universe. Ever since the new 52, the classic DC universe pretty much is gone. So this is pretty much the last time we're going to be able to enjoy the classic Superman, the classic. Although Batman didn't change all that much in the new 52, but still he is a bit different.
I get elemental.
Usually there's barrels around, so don't be afraid to go and get them. Oops. In certain fights, barrels can make all the difference. It wasn't really needed here, but why not? The barrel was there.
Without your powers, Giganta.
Oh yeah.
Have a little recharge.
We got the same pants twice. Sadly, that happens. You get a reward, and then you realize, oh, I got the same reward twice. It's not a big deal, but sadly the random number generator
really don't appreciate how awesome
kind of
your
sucks
boots are
sometimes.
Until you walk around in someone else's.
Let's not mince words.
I'll take care of Big
Sometimes
Bertha
it
here.
sucks.
Thanks again.
So essentially, you can see it's the exact same piece we got twice from the same boss. Although maybe it's a glitch and we're only supposed to get one piece, or maybe we're supposed to get two different pieces and we got the same twice. Either way, it's not cool when that happens. And it does happen fairly often, sadly. And also, I don't know if you've noticed in my loadout, my supercharge is gone. What happened? Well, to quite simply, essentially, I used my armory a little before, and whenever you use your armory, any changes you made to your characters gets reverted to what was imprinted in your armory. So in this case, let's say like the powers have been reverted to the way they were uh, when I did imprint my armory. So I'm gonna go back and reselect the power again, and the same with the skill point. Also, now that we're past level 10, essentially we could select any other weapon we want and start adding skill points to them. Uh, Personally, I prefer to maximize the weapon that I'm actually using, and then later on I will start putting points into other weapons. Although I do have certain characters that uses multiple weapons. Essentially, I have like a Taskmaster character that uses a shield in one armory, and in another armory I'm using the bow, and I have another armory when I'm using the one-handed. So that's one of the great things about the armories is that it allows you to pretty much have multiple build that you're going to use, which is all kinds of awesome if you ask me. The sad part about the armories though is that whenever you change one piece of equipment,
Circe's plan to use
then
Gigantic
you
Wonder Girl has failed. Knowing Circe,
I
she will
think we have
simply turn
one
her
more
eye
skill
to other
point. So
targets.
whenever you change
But we
one
will be
piece of
ready for
equipment,
her.
you pretty
My
much have
thanks.
to
We will speak again soon.
re-imprint all your armories, not just one armory, but all of them. And also, there's going to be a neat thing. Like essentially for my DPS armory, I'm going to be able to, let's say, start to take critical attack damages boosts. But with my troll armory, what I'm going to be able to do is take some power heal criticals possibly instead. So when I go back to my base, I'll assign my points there, and it'll make more sense once I'm there. So essentially, I'm going to go to the Chinatown Police Department to to finish the mission. And as you can see, gliding is all kinds of awesome. Sure, it doesn't match with Wolverine, and there's a lot of characters that even Batman doesn't glide like that. Even though technically gliding is supposed to be based off Batman, but the way they've made the gliding system. It's kind of neat. It's a nice way to go around, fly around the city. It's not as precise as the actual flight, but essentially at some point I will probably make a video or two about exobits and gathering exobits. I'll show the difference, how annoying it can be sometimes to try to get certain exobits. Like when you have an exobits on top of a in the corner of a building or something that's really hard to reach. Sometimes you will struggle with the acrobat characters to try to get that exobit. Sometimes you will also struggle with the speedster to get the same exobit. But with the flying character, you will just take up flight, go there smoothly, and get the exhibit with absolutely no problem.
So, you took Giganta. The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
So we're going to complete the mission. So essentially, we're going to get a brand new cape, a proto mail bot, which is pretty useless if you ask me, and a mark of victory.
Ready for more action? A situation is rapidly spiraling out of control in Little Bohemia.
The cape is
Speak to
a
Dr.
nice
Sarah
improvement.
Charles at the 5th Precinct.
The mail bot, I never used those. So essentially, what I end up doing is that I keep them in my inventory until at some point I get sick of it and I decide to delete it. The R&D scanner can be useful. The radar enhancer can be useful, but the mailbots or even the portable bank, they're not really useful. And as you can see, we got mail, so let's get our mail. And we got a brand new pair of boots, or did we? Yeah, we did. But we already collected those boots. Essentially, it's the very same boots we're wearing. It's the Baton of the Legion. Oh no, it's not the same. Looks the same, but it's not the same. So, but it's the same style. Like you see, it's both styles are Greco-Roman. Like that's Greco-Roman, and that's Greco-Roman. So, essentially, what Greco-Roman looks like, I'll show you. Here's the Greco-Romans. So essentially, some of the styles will be different pieces of gear with different stats, different names, but they'll have the same style. It happens. Okay, so technically we're going to need to take the teleporter to go to the next mission, but we'll make a nice little detour to our base first to adjust our armories. So essentially, if you remember, we earned one more skill point. So we're going to assign that skill point to martial arts, but to the critical attack damage. Essentially, whenever we do a some critical attack, we'll do 5% more damage. It's that simple. So, and let's say if we wanted, we could, let's say, change, make a new loadout, or even change the look of the character a bit. But in this case, essentially what we did was just replace a few pieces of gear. So let's imprint that. So we'll go to imprint menu, imprint all. So essentially we're imprinting everything. If we wanted to, we could imprint just the appearance or just the loadout. But usually, by default, I'll do the imprint all thingy. So now I'm going to change to the troll. So as you see again, we lost our supercharge because we didn't select it with this armory. So essentially, I'm going to go back to power. I'm going for this one. I'm going to go to the battle drone. The battle drone will be useful for the controller role. So I'm going to use that with Wolverine. I'm not sure if we could justify it in terms of comics lore. Other than Loki the Dragon, I'm not sure Wolverine ever had some sort of pet sidekick. But anyways, now he's gonna have a nice little robot, lucky him. And also we had a few skill points, so we're going to go to skill weapons, martial arts. So we're going to take the smoke bomb. Here we go. And in this case, instead of taking the critical attack damage that we took with the damage roll, we're going to go all over here and take the power heal critical. Essentially, what it does is that it increases my power pool by 15 points, and you can put up to 3 points into it. And by the time I will put the third points, then I will get 1% of critical chance increase. of for the power heal. So essentially, whenever I'm going to try to heal power, like let's say with the power over time with the grenade, I'm going to have more 1% more chance to do a critical. It's pretty much that simple. So 97, 97, no criticals. 97. I'm burning power so that we can actually see the power gain. Otherwise, we wouldn't see anything. 97. Ah, see, no critical. Sometimes you're going to do like 12 critical once in one behind the others, and other times you'll go forever without doing a critical. Again, it's the random number generator. There's nothing you can do. So once we've selected our powers and our skills and all that, we're going to come to our armory, and we're going to imprint those as well. And there we go. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not sure why, for the paper doll in the inventory menu, the character or the colors are like lighter for some reason. I have no idea why it does that. It didn't do that on PlayStation 3. It doesn't do that on PC. I've only seen that since I've been playing on PS4. It's not a big deal, but it's just that when you try to adjust let's say change the colors of your character, it makes it a bit more difficult to get the actual color you're looking for. It's no big deal, but it's one of those things that you wish they would fix. So let's go do a few more missions. We have to go to the little Bohemia police station. We're going to take a shortcut and go through the watchtower to get there. It may be confusing at first, but after a while you'll get the hang of the watchtower and of where all the different teleporters take you. And just takes some getting used to. So essentially, I knew that the teleporter for the little Bohemia station was over here. So let's use that. And also, while I'm over here, I'm going to take a few minutes to sell and repair. And if we look in the inventory, oh, ah, crap. I made a boo-boo. Still 12 seconds to go. Essentially, I changed the powers on my character, but I forgot to equip the new pieces that I got. So it's no big deal. I just need to go back to my base and re-imprint the troll armory. Not sure why it's not working. I'm sure there's some sort of reason for that. Okay. Okay, so somehow the warp to base is not working. Okay, so we're gonna take the long way around. Let's try again just to be sure. Nope, not working. That is strange. If you're wondering why I'm looking on the minimap, I have too many characters and too many bases, so I can't remember all of them, like where they're all situated, where they're all located. So we can admire the view, the bridge. Essentially, we can see the university from here. Not quite on the school campus, but close enough. Hopefully, at some point when I get more money and more mark of victory, I'll probably move to base. We'll see. Okay, so essentially the mistake I made is that when I switched from DPS to controller, I forgot to re-equip these pieces. Now, because as you see, essentially those are the old pieces I used to have, and I cannot sell them or salvage them until I take them out of my armory. So I'll imprint my new pieces. And now that my gear is no longer associated with any armories, now I'm going to be able to sell it for a couple of a little money, or I'm going to be able to salvage it for some crafting components. Although essentially you cannot salvage pieces that are not level 30 yet. So essentially like these pieces are item level 3, item level 8. So in order to be able to salvage your equipment, it has to be a piece item level 30 or more. Although there are some pieces level 30 that you cannot salvage for some reason. I'm not sure why. So right now the only choice we really have is to sell them. So we're going to sell, and also we're going to sell whatever junk we got at the same while we were doing missions. And you can see we got plenty of junks. So we're going to sell those sodas because those sodas are better. We'll sell the pants, the gloves, the shoulders, the boots, the mask. Here we go. And while we're here, we're going to craft a mod for our second ring that we got with a socket. Like you can see, we have a red socket. We have plenty of red exobits. So why not craft a mod? Oh, we have another red socket. We could craft 2 mods. Or and even a blue one, 3 mods. Oh, and a 4th one. Holy crap. It's crafting season. So okay, let's start with 3 mods. So essentially to be able to craft we need no, yeah. What do we need? Okay, essentially we cannot Yeah, we cannot craft beta items until we're level 20. So essentially, we're going to craft three more beta items. So we'll need 1, 2, 3. So we'll need 2 aggressive exobyte, 1 fortified exobyte. Come on. Sadly, there is a bit of lag in the crafting menu. Sad, but there's nothing we can really do about it. Ah, crap. I forgot. Bought the wrong one. Too used to crafting beta mods. It's been a long time since I crafted alpha mods. So essentially, I need to buy some alpha interface. 1, 2, 3. And let's try again. So we'll need 2 of these. No, we don't have a blue one. So we'll put the red one here. We'll put the other red one in the other ring. So let's go buy a blue plan that will allow us to make blue mods. So let's go back to the watchtower. For the plans, the only place we can buy it is at the watchtower. There's essentially there's one vendor in each wing. So in our base, we can get the crafting components. But if we really want the recipe, well, the plans, then we have to buy them from the watchtower. As you can see, people are dueling. If you wonder why people just stick around in a bunch and duel, is that there's certain feats that require you to do like 100 to win like 100 duels or 200 duels. So essentially, you need to do a lot of duels in order to be able to get those feats. Okay, so essentially for the blue part, we will go for the alpha dominance. So it's 175. Let's buy that. And just to be on the safe side, let's buy the better one. We won't be able to use the better one yet, but at least we'll have it in stock for when we're going to want to use it. So again, we'll go back here. We already have our blue exhibit. So let's make our blue mod, which will go here. So technically we still have room for one more red and one more yellow. So at some point that will mean some farming. UP. Okay, so essentially we've modded all the pieces we could. So next time we'll mod some more. And I think that's going to be it for tonight, or at least for this video. So the next time we're going to do a couple more missions. I may do a bit of I'm not sure if I'll do some exobit farming in between videos, or if I'll start next video with the farming. I'll make up my mind, and we'll see next time, I guess. So have a good evening, and thanks for listening. Until next time.